whereby they don't know actually what to do. Uh, People asking themselves, how do I position myself to the job market? How do I grow my network and brand immediately after campus? And how do I stay relevant and confident towards my career? Uh, so many people are asking themselves, what if I don't land a job immediately? And how do I stay relevant and confident? All those are actual questions in our minds. Some are saying, how do I balance earning a living with building a meaningful life? Indeed, there are questions which actually make so many graduates sit on themselves there, think, and indeed, some of them don't have answers. So this meeting is trying to solve so many problems. This session, we are live on YouTube, on our channel. I think Coach Samuel, you've worked on that. Uh, so many people can also join in using that. So by doing so, don't even forget to subscribe, share with friends uh, who actually need this information. We are so many here in the world. Uh, People are joining in from Moobs, Makerere. Uh, so indeed, it's an insightful session. Our speaker today is Coach Samuel Ibanda. Uh, I've actually interacted with Coach Samuel Ibanda sometime. I met Samuel when I was doing my internship at KPMG Uganda. And indeed, for the first 3 minutes we talked, it showed me that he's a man who is focused. He's a man who knows what someone can pass through in order to succeed. And good enough, I did my BCom accounting, and when I searched through what the course which Samuel did, Samuel also did BCom accounting at MOOBS. So I saw someone who actually has similar goals with actually what I had, and someone whom I can easily look on to in order for me actually to have an insightful.
All right, so Stephen, are you there? Um, Glad to see some people here. I don't know, is it only me who cannot hear Stephen? I just want to be sure. But thank you so much, everyone that has joined through.
To have uh, experience from different fields. So Samuel has experience in the areas of consultancy and capacity building. He has worked in different companies. Imprint Uganda, he has worked with Vodafone, has worked with Alliance One International. And actually, if I'm to exhaust each and everything about Samuel Ibanda, we may sleep here, and I may even lie you in some aspects. So I think right now, let me just call upon Samuel to introduce actually himself and give us an insight. I may have left out some of the things, but it's good for someone to speak for himself and we hear uh, the wealth of experience Samuel has. Thank you so much. So,
All right.
Samuel,
Thank you so much, Stephen, for moderating this session. And thank you so much, our viewers, our participants who have joined through for the live session, and the people that are watching this from a recording. So my name is Samuel Ibanda, um, most known as Coach Samuel Ibanda. And the reason why I added the word coach is not that because I coach football. I know the word coach is most related to that aspect, but I'm a coach in the aspect of personal development, personal finance, career, and other aspects. So today we are here to look at what next after university. as Mr. Stephen was trying to introduce. I would say that what he has mentioned as my profile, that should be it. But what I could say also is I'm also a father uh, of three, one son and two twin daughters, still counting. I'm also a husband, married, and I do quite a number of things, even outside my day-to-day work. But for today's journey, you can call me your career growth mentor, finance and business coach, because this is work that I do. I'm also a public speaker who has been on various stages, both nationally and at a global level. So many things that I'll be able to share with you even as we get into our conversation today. Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. Over to you. Stephen, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for that good insight. Indeed, learning is going to take place. Uh, to start off, indeed, let me start actually by posing some good question. Specifically, you've passed through this as a man who has actually uh, passed through different lines at campus. Uh, you've uh, actually passed through different lines of education, and someone who you would like to know after your campus or after your graduation, what did you wish someone had told you specifically? That's my question, which I would want to understand from you. Maybe if you look through yourself, what did you wish that maybe someone had could have told you to do? Yeah, actually, that's a simple question for you, but you will try to elaborate, and
Okay.
then we should build on that as we move on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen. So, to give you context, I finished my last exam in May 2014, which is about 10 years from now. And if there's one thing that I wish I knew, well, I was getting out of university, um, I would say that I wish somebody told me that life will not be a straight line, but you would definitely be able to make it no matter the circumstances. And why do I say this is because when we are going through school or university or college, we look at life to be more of a straight line because you go to P1, study, every year you're moving to the next class, and you get to university, they tell you have 3 years to study, you have a number of papers, and there is a formula to passing whatever level you want to get to. They tell you when you read hard, A, B, C, D. Now, life outside the academic structure, the day-to-day learning of somebody who is at school is so different from how life outside school is. Why? Because today I will go to school and study with Stephen, but when I get out, Stephen will get a chance to get into a multinational organization. I may not get a chance to get into a multinational organization. Another person may struggle to even find a job within about 5 years. But that does not define success for anyone because our beginnings, although different, do not in one way or the other dictate how our end shall be. So if there's one thing that I wish somebody told me, I think that would, because I think getting out of university, I had a lot of anxiety because I felt that life was going to be straight. I thought that the good grades that I'd gotten from university would pave the way directly for me into finding a high-paying job. As a top student, as somebody who went through university as a top student, one who was leading, and I felt that life was going to be in a straight line, the way it has been always, that the good grades would make way for me, which did not really come through. So I wish somebody told me that it is okay to start from wherever you start, but that does not define the end. I hope, Stephen, I answered that question rightly.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. Indeed, that's a great insight. And I think so many people have passed through that. And actually, I think actual learning is starting to take place. That is a very good icebreaker to know actually what we are going to be in specifically for this meeting. Feel free actually to actually post your insight in the chat box and your question in the case. What do you need to know about Samuel? Maybe if you've heard that he is a manager at KPMG, what does it require for someone actually to actually get there? So you can easily post that and then we move on. So Samuel, in that very line, we've seen that so many graduates actually feel lost in uncertainty and so many things there. How can they gain clarity?
All right. That's a great question, Mr. Stephen. And I want to start it from the perspective that when you get out of university, you need to be clear on what you want in life. And if you're watching this and you're still in university, I'll tell you that it's actually important that you even start asking these questions before you jump out. Right now, some of you are either preparing for graduation, and in your mind, you're asking yourself, uh, what exactly do I need to do to find a job? I think it needs to be beyond the job, because the question is going to be, what if the job does not come? What happens? So clarity comes when you sit down and reflect and ask yourself, I've walked this journey. I've gone through from P1 to where I am. I'm now college and getting through university and getting done. What exactly do I want in this life? I'll tell you, yesterday I posted something which is about the importance of being clear on your direction versus speed. Most of the times, because you found a job, you run after it. And why do I say this is that I'll give you an example. When I was leaving university, I found two jobs. One of the jobs that I found was with Shell. Shell runs as Vivo Energy. Some of you may be knowing. Vivo Energy is the franchise owner of Shell in Africa. So I got a job with Shell. And this was after how many interviews? I think we went through 6 interviews. It started as a graduate recruitment, and they sieved us until I think we're about 3. So I was given a job. But what was the job that I was given? I was given a job to market gas cylinders. Now, I remember I'd done accounting, and here I was into, because my key goal when I was leaving university was to make sure that I find something to do, something that would give me a kickstart in my career. So Shell gives me this job, marketing job. And in my mind, I was like, yes, I can do it. I can do it. As I was trying to figure out that kind of job, I see another opportunity, which was an internship opportunity. This was in a consultancy firm. And I found myself, the role is an internship, but it's in the accounting department. So who wouldn't want to work with Shell? Because that was the time of where there were prospects in the oil and gas industry, And being able to just be associated with such a brand was something that you really pride in. But I chose to go and do the internship that was in accounting because that is what I felt my passion was for. And that is same thing also happened well when the university called me back to lecture. I had down again to sit down and ask myself, do I want to live a lecture life? Or do I want to live a professional life? One, how I'm going to work for organizations and go through the ranks. What exactly do I need with my life? And then I had to let go of the lecturing job because I felt my career was more installed from, I had more passion around normal accounting, day-to-day working in organizations rather than standing before students to teach them. Although still, of course, there is what we call passion, but there is a key saying that passion does not feed you. So somebody who is leaving university, your clarity is not just about your interests and likes as an individual, but you have to look beyond and say, the decisions I'm taking right now, how do they influence 5 years from now, my life 5 years from now? Because in most cases, we do a lot of bandwagon. Like I've told you, when you leaving university, you've been studying with your peers. So there are certain things you like. When you hear Steven has moved to this organization, you also want to run and get there. You want to do things the way your colleagues are doing them. And this is because school has taught you this kind of mindset that you have to move at the same pace with your friends. So this affects you. Now, when you're leaving university, the key aspect for you is to understand that this is now a unique journey for you. You're now in a school where you the only student because it's your life. My life is not going to mirror Steven's life, or it's not going to mirror Charity's life. Each one of us are going to have a totally different school of life because our day-to-day is going to vary. So clarity comes from the perspective of understanding that you are unique, you are different, and you need to be able to now take critical decisions that are going to help you as an individual. And you're no longer doing things to appeal to other people. You're doing things because you believe in them. You believe that that is what you're called to. You're looking at long term. You have a vision of who you want to be. I will tell you that 10 years back, while I was leaving university, I had aspirations. I wanted to work with multinational organizations. I wanted to grow in my career. I wanted one time to work with a big four audit firm, which I'm working with right now. All these things were part of my vision, what I really wanted to be in life. And not just speaking about only career, even as a graduate, you need to be able to look at your life holistically because when you leave university, the world expects you not only just thrive in your career, but also in your life. So one of the things that I also focused on is to understand what kind of life do I want to live as well? At what age do I want to get married? What kind of assets do I want to have in life? How further do I want to go in my education? Quite a number of things that I did have to answer. And the same thing for clarity for somebody who is leaving university. You need to sit down and have a meeting with yourself where you have to lay down and say, what is my bigger picture? What do I want the world to know me for? What does 10 year look like? What do I envision? It is my friend Charity who shared about the vision board. What is it that you see your journey looking like 10 years from now? Now, of course, like I told you, and as I'll share continuously, the journey is not going to be straight. But if you do not know where you're going, it's a problem. Because at the end of the day, you can't get where you're going without being determined about that journey. I'll tell you, this morning, yesterday, about 2 days, about two days back, I received a call inviting me somewhere. So it so happens that the invitation comes through when I'd already scheduled this meeting to be able to speak to finalists as university students. And I have to be in this place at that time when I'm needed. But then I have this program I'm supposed to run. But because my vision, uh, I already had clarity on what I wanted, I was able to plan through and say, okay, I'm going to have the session first. And once I'm done with the session, I need to get going to be able to attend to this invitation as well. So when you know what you want in life, you're not going to get yourself because circumstances have found you and maybe you found a spouse at 23 and you're getting yourself married. If you've laid down and you're saying, okay, I'm going to take this kind of direction, you have some level of focus that even when you're making decisions, sometimes even when you're altering some of the decisions, you have the bigger picture. You may not have to stick to everything as you've laid it down because life is not a straight journey, but at least you know the end result. Because if you're traveling and let's say you're let's say to those that are in Uganda, if you're traveling to Masaka or traveling to Jinja, the different directions may be different, but you already have in mind what should be your destination. So when it comes to clarity, that is what I can really say, knowing what you want in life and also being able to reflect how your journey has also been previously. I think that really makes way for you in your journey. Yeah, over to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for that. Indeed, learning is taking place, and we've picked so many actually things. Actually, you note down what you're picking. My notebook actually, I'm right now in 2 pages. So if yours is still actually you've not yet written something down, indeed you're not actually serious. But try to actually boom up and you try to actually note something. Since learning actually we are still learning so many things. Uh, we actually will move on to welcome others, those people who have just actually joined on in this meeting. This is actually a meeting which we've been waiting for as graduates. What next after university? So many graduates, so many freshers. We are freshers in this world. So we are still asking so many questions. And in the chat box there, we are seeing so many questions coming in. I think we can answer them after uh, a very good analysis of each and every concept we are supposed to cover. How do you see that, Mr. Samuel?
Okay. Pardon on that.
I think we can answer the questions after maybe finishing each and everything we are
Yes, yes,
supposed to talk
yes.
about.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yes, that one can work. So keep questions coming in, comrades. I'm that we can after uh, this session, at the end of the session. So, Samuel, we've seen so many things there. Having a vision, according to what you've said to us, having a vision, uh, trying to position ourselves. But this one requires so many people would like to know actually, which I picked from your insight on LinkedIn when we are trying to actually introduce us for this meeting. And actually, it interested me so much. How can I balance my network? How do I grow my network and brand immediately? And how do I stay relevant and confident, irrespective of the little experience I have? in the field.
Okay.
Some,
Yes. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. What I would say is, and again, you ask a very critical aspect, your brand. Now, when you leave university, one of the things that you live with is, of course, you have friends, people who have known you, you have your family, you have people that know you as an individual. Now, in your journey to figuring out life, as it's called, you always have what you might say, you have aspirations as an individual. Now, your brand needs to mirror your aspirations. If at all you a career professional, you want now the world to start seeing you in that kind of direction. So we are at an age of social media where we have online profiles and where you can be able to create your brand online. But you should not also get off the brand, your offline brand, because I want to say that when somebody says brand, I just want to simplify this for some people. What do people say about you in a room where you're not? What do people say about you in a room where you're not? So you find yourself in circumstances where you may not have an opportunity to be everywhere. And you see, when you get out of university, most likely you lose contact with some of your friends that you studied with. But what will make it for somebody who goes for a job and they tell them, Stephen, you come here, you're very good. We would like you to recommend somebody else whom you studied with who might have these qualities. What will make it for somebody whom you studied with to be able to think about you? One of the other critical aspects is for you to be able to, let's say, find a job. We are in an era and age where CVs are phasing out. Yeah, sadly. And the reason why CVs are phasing out is because there are now machines that actually can make CVs. If an employer is recruiting and they receive several CVs, they will not just make the decision based on the CV. They will have to look beyond the CV. Now, when you create your own brand, or let's be specific, when you create your personal brand, you're creating your identity that people are now going to start to know you for. And I gave you an example of the online brand, leveraging on platforms like LinkedIn, where you go create an account and now start to show up. You're not just showing up as a student, but you're now showing up as a professional because you have left university. So the key aspect here is understand what you want the world to know you for and start building that brand. Because you don't want to start out as a musician, but when your passion is into photography, or you don't want to start out as a fashionist, but yet you want first push the accountant's brand. Because yesterday we were trying to learn more about personal branding. And what was being shared was you don't want to confuse the world, especially when you're starting out. One of the things is we have quite a number of people here. Your siblings do not know what you studied. Your other relatives also do not know what you studied. Your brand also cascades down, making sure that the people that you are with know what you studied. And that is through positioning yourself online, but also physically. How you networking and how you introducing yourself in different platforms helps create a brand for you. The reason why it's critical to make sure that your brand is intentionally built is because you want, if somebody thinks about something, they need to be able to think about you. If I thought about, let's say, maybe the CFA challenge, I would be thinking about Stephen because Stephen participated in the CFA challenge. Recently shared and he said it's part of an ESG research project. So if he had not shared about that, I wouldn't have known what exactly he's doing with his life. So this whole aspect of saying I'm finalist of Makerere University is good, but you need to be able to now start speaking from also from the perspective of what can you do? What exactly are you doing with your life, you as an individual, such that it helps you to be able to tap into the opportunities. Because when somebody asks me, do you have somebody who just finished university and maybe they have done accounting and ABCD? When I'm asked such a question, the person that comes to my mind is much likely one that I've either seen them sharing or seen them introducing. Right now, here we had somebody who just introduced themselves. For example, Godfrey Ainobiona, who is a finalist, I think, from Metropolitan International University campus. And he mentions that he's a student of computer science. So what I would say is, if at all I'm trying to think about computer science, maybe Godfrey Ainobiona will come to my mind. So that's how the world works. If you're not sharing and if you're not in people's faces to tell them about what you can do. I know most of the times we want to introduce by ourselves by the courses we have done. But I want you now to also go on to also add aspects of what can you do exactly. Because people are not going to recommend you for the course you did. People are going to recommend you for what you can do with the course that you did. If you did accounting, you need to be able now to move from saying I did BCom accounting to now tell us, uh, yes, I did BCom accounting. I can file returns for organizations. I'm also good at budgeting, so I can be able to help organizations budget. I'm also good at, let's say, preparing financial reports. Let the world know what exactly you can do such that they know when to recommend you. Because when it comes, there are people who are going to look for services or look for employees that are not going to mention about the course and say, I'm looking for somebody who can be able to do for me returns. Now, the person who has maybe either heard about you that you did a course will now start asking themselves, but this guy finished BCom, can it really file returns? I don't know. I don't know. And then maybe before that, somebody thinks about another person who has mentioned it. Either they mentioned it in a meeting or they saw them post about it on LinkedIn and be like, yeah, I saw Jen post about filing returns. I think she knows these things. I think let's recommend you to her. Before you know it, Jen has actually found a job for themselves. So in building your brand right now, understand what the world exactly needs and how the world is going to judge you. When somebody recommends Jen for filing tax returns, the person who is even may not even get into the details of what did the Jen actually study. So that is one of the things. But I also want you to make sure that you're not just limited by what you studied. Some of you might have other aspects that you can be able to do yourself as individuals. So do not limit yourself to only what you studied when you're trying to look at also the life that you want to live. Some of you went for these courses because that's what was available. But the world has also changed in a way that some of the courses are not either relevant, but even yourself, you may not be passionate about that. And you don't want to do something for the rest of your life that you're not passionate about. So this is an opportunity for you to start and create. Now, you might have a background that you're not proud of. Even when you are from a background that you're proud of, but one of the things that remains important is what the world will know you for is what you're creating today. So your brand, it's you're the author of your brand. I'll tell you that right now I'm called Coach Samuel Ibanda. That is not a mistake because I curated this brand from day one to know that this is what I want to be known for. I want to be known as a public speaker. I want to be known as a coach. I want to be known doing ABCD. I want to be known as an accountant. When somebody thinks about accountants in Uganda, they need to be able to think about me in at least the top 10 or the top 20. Why? Because it's important. If the world is so noisy, especially in this alien age, and we have quite a number of people that have done the same thing that you've done. They have done the same course or even a better course. So what is going to set you out from the crowd is your brand. And what happens with the brand is the brand goes before you. The brand, before you even get into rooms, people have started mentioning your names and like, "Ah, that guy is good. You need to take a chance on this guy. You need to try out this guy's products." And before you know it, the brand has taken you places. So that is what I can comment on the aspect of brand, Mr. Steven.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samuel, for that insight. Indeed, brand is a very important thing, which we can actually look at as recent graduates and freshmen and women in this world. Yeah, actually, actual learning is taking place if you try to look through. People are still joining in, people have joined on. We don't take this for granted. We have more other mentors here from the Transformational Professionals Club, fellow members. I'm seeing Charity Nyonshuti. You're welcome. These are great mentors. We have Philip Chiriowa. He's also a great mentor from the Transformational Professionals Club. So just to know, the club is a resourceful one, and we are enjoying specifically. I joined this club from inception. We launched this club last year in December, and I'm glad to be one of the first students to join it. And I've actually gained a lot of things. When I feel anything, maybe when something is not so well, when I feel maybe stressed about something, I just look through the mentors which we have. We have Coach Diana. I think she's not here, but she's a great coach also. She helped me in things concerning strength and weaknesses, the disc assessment. So just to know, from the Transformational Professionals Club, I'm enjoying. So don't let me enjoy alone, comrades. Let's enjoy together the benefits of this club. Uh, I've got so many benefits there. Interview preparation, when I actually get a challenge concerning preparing for interviews, I just tap into the different coaches. What can I do here based on your experience? So either Samuel can answer that. Recently, I've done my interview with KPMG, and indeed, I've aced it so well because of the actual experience I get from these people here. Uh, Samuel, indeed, we are still learning from you in so many ways. Uh, Someone there is asking, what if I don't land a job immediately? Maybe I don't have any network. I've done my first class. Yes, I feel it's near to 5.0. How do I remain relevant in this society and confident? I know you have some good experience in this line. I know you were a good performer based on your experience all the way from university. You came into actually this career world. Someone may see you at KPMG and may think that you are a professional who's just focusing on that line. But when actually we go deep into your profile, I can easily understand that you've done so many businesses, so many actual activities which help you earn income from multiple sources. You are a mentor, and so many things which I may not exhaust. So I would love you to exploit that bit of it. So how can someone remain relevant? He has not yet found a job. Maybe he may not be interested in this in his line of business. We have so many colleagues who studied accounting and they are not interested in this field, but they are interested in the entrepreneurial skills which they need. So in this case, I want you to exhaust that bit of it. I've not found a job which I studied or even any other, but how can I remain relevant in this dynamic and changing world?
All right. Thank you, Stephen, for that question. And it's a very important question. Why? Because I think the world has changed so much. While leaving university, it was not easy to find a job in a good organization, but at least you'd find a job. I know still, of course, it was not very obvious that you'd find a job, but if I compare it with the time like this right now, the time right now is a bit again so different from our time. Of course, our fathers, for them, they had a chance because once they left university, the opportunities were there to be able to do whatever they need to do. But right now, it's a bit different because you can go to university, study, and have a first class and fail to find a job. Now, it's not even about the grades, because I'll give you an example. When I failed to enter KPMD, which was one of my dream employers, somebody who had a lower degree, I think a second class, it was second class up, I think still, was able to find their way into employment into that organization. And I didn't get a chance. When you leave university, it even gets off the grades because the world does not just look at your first class or second class upper. The world is looking at things differently. It's about how you're able to express yourself and defend whatever you studied. The world is also looking for people who have built networks, because some people are not going to get jobs because of their grades, but they're going to get the jobs because of who they know. And that is something that is not changing. That is something that has been around. And that is something that is even getting more even as we proceed, because as the opportunities become so few, means that it is more than just having the good grades. Now, when you leave university, one of the things that is in your mind is to find a job. And this is not an issue because much likely you have either studied, and this is what your teachers have always told you, study hard such that you can get good grades and find a job. But what happens if at all that job does not show up? What do you do? Now, one of the things that I mentioned when we were starting is how you begin does not determine your end. And there are people who take the direction of business and turn out to do so well than the people who took the employment direction. For you who studied at university, I want you to look at life from a positive view. Do not just look at yourself as just as an employee, that if at all employment fails, you are nothing. Look at yourself as somebody who can be able to do beyond what you studied. One of the things that I encourage you as someone is let your degree not blindfold you, that because I studied this degree and I have this number of grades, I cannot get myself into selling. Sometimes what is actually going to open for you a door is actually that business. Now, I usually say that I finished 10 years ago, but I have colleagues or friends who have not been able to find a job in the 10 years journey. But ask yourself, you're not growing any younger. You leave university, you either 21, 22, or 23 or 24, and 10 years between in there, you're getting into your 30s, mid 30s. So what am I saying? I'm saying that it's quite important for you to create options to know that if the job fails, I can try business. Now, in most cases, one of the things that comes to your mind when it comes to business, you're like, where am I going to get capital and what am I going to exactly do? Now, I want you to think about from the aspect of freelancing, because that is the most easier way to enter into the day-to-day business. Now, as somebody who has left university, you have quite a number of things, either skills that you have on yourself, either passions that you've had before. And these are things that you can actually transform into an income. And this comes down to your mindset, being able to know that, okay, as I wait for the job, can I put my life to something? Because remember, you still need necessities as an individual. You need to be able to create an income for you. When I left university, I had this mindset that either I find a job or I don't find a job, I need to be able to earn. And I need to be able to create a life for myself that I'll not say I'm going to be poor for the rest of my life because I failed to find a job. So as you look for a job, ask yourself, what am I doing exactly to be able to earn a living? And this comes down to getting yourself even off the course you studied. Because I'll tell you, I studied accounting, but some of my first work was in photography, was into graphic designing, something that is totally off what I studied. Why? Because when you leave university, the world does not want to explanations of what you studied. Again, the world wants to know what you can do. So you may also want to take into aspects of learning a new skill, something you didn't study from university. When you confine yourself to only what you studied means that you have a limited scope. So looking around and say, what is now working? What are people looking at in this L and H? People are into video production. People are into social media marketing. How about I learn some of these skills and start doing them for people? Before you know it, you're creating a brand for yourself. There's a doctor, I know most of you follow him, Mr. Solomon. Dr. Solomon Chimena. Is a doctor, but does content, even does influencing for organizations. Now he has a job, but he's also earning an income for whatever he's doing in a creative way. So you have a passion, you have something that you can actually put to use to be able to get you an income. You see, if I was your older sibling, I would rather give you money to start something and say, I'm starting up something. Maybe I'm doing digital marketing and I'm struggling to find a very good phone. Somebody can easily invest in you something that they know is going to bring you more money, more than a dependence kind of ask, where you know that somebody is asking you, but they're just asking you so they can consume. Being able to come up with something, either leveraging on what you studied, if you're an accountant, knowing that, okay, are there organizations that may need filing of their returns, tax returns? Can I go on to learn these tax returns and know what to do with them? If you studied computer science, you're like, can I learn web designing in a better way that I can be able to actually attract some clients that may need their websites to be developed? If at all you you love fashion, you say, can I go and learn tailoring and be able to start making some designs? So making money out of university while you do not have a job sometimes may require you to learn a new skill that is totally different from what you studied. But as long as it is something that you love, and I want to tell you that even when you find a job at the end of the day, what you've started right now will be able to help you even as you continuously go through even employment, because much like you may not start with a salary that is not a lot of money, and you need a backup, something that can be able to add at least an income to what you're already earning. So think about beyond your skill, leverage on what you studied, it exactly. When I was starting out, in addition to doing photography, I was teaching people accounting because I'd gone through university and this was something that was easy for me to do. So I was teaching my fellow students accounting. One of the other things that I would want to recommend is you can get into trading, where you know that you can buy an item and sell it at the end of the day. This you're doing, you exploring and seeing what is it that people need. And of course, you will tell me that business is not easy. Yes, I understand business is not easy, but what is so bad is you sitting down home for a full year without an income coming, and you reach an extent where you now start to hate yourself because the job has not come through. Yourself, you're there's nothing that you're earning at the end of the day. And by time you realize, or by time you wake up, it's 5 years down the journey, it's 10 years down the journey, and you're trying to do a lot of catch up. So start something right now when you're still either staying in your father's house, you still have some stipend that is coming through. Have something you sell. When you go for meetings and you're introducing yourself, at least mention something and say, guys, if you need good suits, I know where you can get them. They are at very good rates. If you need good phones, Google Pix phones, you can be able to reach out to me. Have an item, at least just pick one item that you know that I know where I can buy this item, and start to speak about that item. If it's something that you can produce, well and good. But if you can't produce, at least have an item. Or at least have a skill that you're selling. Because you see, this whole thing of I'm looking for this job, I'm looking for this job. What about if you add that a conversation to that and say, I'm looking for a job, but for the meantime, I help people ABCD. Now, before you know it, one of the things that you need to know is even what you're doing right now as a business might turn out to be a job, because somebody be like, you do this thing, how about I employ you full time and you come and do this thing for me? So if I started a given course, I need to understand and say, if I was not working for an employer who is paying me monthly, are there organizations that may need the same service that this person can employ me for, but maybe may not be able to afford me on a monthly basis, such that I can start to do it? Now, this also is very important for your CV, because one of the things, and I'll tell you, if I'm interviewing people and somebody tells me that for a full year they have not been doing anything, that is a red flag. Why? Because you can't be a graduate and take a whole year without doing anything around what you studied. And that is why I encourage you, if it means volunteering, find somewhere where you can volunteer your skills, such that you volunteer your skills, that person gives you a recommendation, and now you can use that recommendation or testimonial to get somebody else to be able to pay you for the same. So it's quite important for you to be able to see, because the jobs are really few, and I need to be honest with that. An organization will advertise, and over 100 people will actually compete for the job. But what is going to set you apart is making sure that you're keeping yourself engaged, your skills are being refined, you have an opportunity to be able to have something to demonstrate, to show and say, currently I may not be in a stable employment, but I'm working here and there. I'm working for this organization. I'm supporting them on ABC on a volunteer basis. That person is so much better than somebody who says, I'm not doing anything. So that's what I can comment about the aspect of business, Mr. Steven.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Indeed, that's a great insight for all of you actually who are actually not thinking about this line of professionalism, and actually they have an entrepreneurial mindset. So many people here have joined in. We have Hassan Semaganda, my comrade in BCom accounting. He's an entrepreneur and also a finalist. And he's right now working with Petro Uganda Limited, part-timing with other jobs, with ongoing web development and data analytics on progress. So if you have anything concerning that line, just contact that man. He's Semaganda Hassan, aka Hassan Uganda. Godfrey Nebiona, you've been on since we started, and actually he has some good question there embedded in his comment. I think, can we just handle this before actually proceed? Yeah, he's saying, thank you for this meeting. I am Nebiona Godfrey from Metropolitan International University Mbarara campus. I am asking even before university, what should I focus on? Because you see, this is a small university. Most people underlook. I am a student of computer science and I am dropping into second year. Else, I am planning to organize a university workshop, AI Unlocked. That informs how to make money from AI. What should I know before this? Thanks. So, what's your say concerning that? Uh,
Okay. What I would say in response to this question, and thank you so much, Godfrey, for asking. So you mentioned that you're studying from Metropolitan International University in Mbarara campus, and you're asking what should you focus on because you see in a small university, most people underlook. Now, the world, there's a point in time where the world will now look beyond your university, where you studied from. And why I mention this is that as you, of course, as you find a job, especially your first job, there may be a bias. But what I want to say is there is no small university. Your university is accredited, I believe so. So build your brand to the extent that people are not going to judge you by your university. We went during my first search for jobs, we had organizations that would ask you where you studied from, your A level or O level. And some of us, our schools were not really known. But what I would say is our brands were able to help us because we had superseded where we had started from. So when you're telling people about what you studied or what you do, people need to be able to know that you've gone beyond the confines of the perception that they may have on your university. I know during our times, be like, people from Chambogo, ABCD, but I've worked with people from Chambogo who are so excellent. I've worked with people who are from Mbarara University who are so excellent. I've worked with people who are from UCU, Uganda Matters. It's about you as an individual. I can go through Makerere and be so not good to the extent that I cannot find my way somewhere. So one, change your perception because right now, this is where you've studied from. What exactly have you studied? Sometimes the judgment is coming because people are not understanding what exactly have you studied, what uniqueness have you been able to get alongside your journey. And also study beyond even the university. Right now, if you're into computer science, there are quite a number of free courses provided by Google. When you when you mention, let's say, where you studied from, and you're adding on some of these other certificates you've done, somebody even gets off the mind of the university and now starts to look at you as an individual because they now see a focused person, they see a determined person, they see a knowledgeable person, they see a skilled person. So that is one of the things that I want to really say. And you're saying that I'm dropping into second year. Else, I'm planning to organize a university workshop, AI Unlocked, that informs how to make money from AI. What should I know before this? So this is a great initiative, Mr. Godfrey. And right now, of course, we know that AI is at the stage where everyone is speaking about it. So this is a good thing that you can be able to organize within your university, and it can create also a brand for you, because at the end of the day, the skills and whatever you're going to acquire while organizing this, the leadership, all those attributes so fit into your brand as an individual. And this is also for those that finished university. One of the critical or most important aspect of you is the experience you either obtain from your internship, as well as the experience that you also obtain from the social clubs that you were a part of. Because at the end of the day, you may not have experience, which most people say, I don't have experience. But at least one thing that you do have is that you've been doing previously, either as a student leader, either as part of a club, either at your church. All that forms so much basis for what you can really do, and you should not really feel shy speaking about them, because they make you get to a level where you are at an edge over others. Because at the end of the day, it's a competitive world. All of you have come out with a degree, but what else is in the degree? So that is what I can say, Mr. Stephen, in responding to this question. Mr. Stephen, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samuel, for answering that good question. I think, Mr. Ineviona, you have some good insight of where you're going in that line. So actually, don't look on yourself as a small person. Don't look at the size of the university in that line, but actually, you're an individual who can actually focus and then grow yourself beyond the university borders you're living in. Uh, so many questions are down here. Uh, Ainebiona was specifically asking concerning the Transformation of Professionals Club. The link has been shared, and we can actually connect and grow together in that line. Nambia Masi, a student of Makerere University doing BCom accounting, is asking a question here. How can one overcome post-campus anxiety and depression in case things don't go as planned? I think you can give her some insight such that we can actually grow and understand where actually we can go. So many people actually can have that insight, such a question in that line, and you can actually answer them through her.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. I think what I would say is, yes, I know there's a lot of anxiety that comes, especially when things do not go as planned. But what I would say is, I mentioned something and said, your start does not determine your end. Your beginning does not determine your end. So what this means is that you can actually become successful even if you have started at small from where you are. Now, it's very common that we get mental issues or depression because we think that life should be a straight journey. But one thing I can say is life is not a straight journey, and you'll find there are people who start in good organizations and somehow they'll move. And then there are those that will pick up in the third year or second year or fifth year. What I would say is remain positive and remain focused as an individual, knowing what you want in life, and trying out all that you can. I mentioned if at all you do not have a job, change your mindset and start looking at from the perspective of, can I do something else that can be able to give me an income? Look around and see what are some of those things that I want to achieve in life. And if I did not get a job, what can I else do with my life? Because the job shouldn't define you. Most of the times why you be in depression is because you think that because you failed to find a job, your life depends on it, and that is the end of you. There are quite a number of people that have not been able to find jobs, but have gone ahead to succeed more than those that found the jobs. And I also want to share and say is keep yourself with other people. One of the things is when you leave university, you have been in this kind of life where you have your friends that you walk with in terms of your journey. Do not detach yourself. Most depression comes in because you want to live a life of yourself alone, forgetting that you've built your life in companionship with others. So one of the things that I did while I left university is to have friends around me, people that I studied with, and of course also new friends that came through, but to ensure that I have a support system of such kind of people. Now, I know that, of course, that may not come easy, but that is one of the things that will help you in the journey, because you know you have people to talk to who can be able to help you and encourage you. One of the things that I also do is get yourself busy. They say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Don't confine yourself to idleness where you're not doing anything. And that's why you see if you start a business, that will engage your brain. If you engage in a community activity, participate, that will engage in your brain. Find something that you do that you can be proud of as an individual. I'll tell you that once I used to do graphic designing, I'd look at some of the work I've produced, and yeah, it was good work. So even when I was not finding the job that I was really aspiring for, somehow I had the hopes that the end will really be a better one, because I said I'm going to work towards it, either through a job, either through business. I have hope. One of the things that I also do is I'm a believer, and I believe that if God created you and moved you all this journey from the time you were born to where you are now, and you've survived through all the phases despite the hurdles, I do believe that one of the things I would say, God is not giving up on you at that time. And there's a reason sometimes why certain things delay. So you need to be able to be positive about your pursuit and know that even when things are not working out right now, it's not the end. That doesn't mean that they will not work out. So keep positive as you work towards the life that you want to create as an individual. And before you know it, things pick up. Either it's in business, you start to get some customers, or if it's a job, you find at least a job. Because when you're positive, you create a ground for your mind to be able to tap into opportunities. Because I'll give you an example. I have friends who at that time while we were starting out, because they struggled to find a job, within 1 year they were already giving up, saying those things of applying for jobs do not work. You can't be applying for jobs, and people already have their own people. So that negative mindset made them not apply. And before you know it, no opportunities will come through because you're not applying. Myself, I've worked for now 4, 5 organizations. But I'll tell you that most of my opportunities, if not all my opportunities, have come from me applying through online. I see a job advert, I apply, I present my best self, and before you know it, you're being invited for an interview and you're being given the job. So what I would say is, for you who is listening to me, the world may not be treating you well. but that does not mean it's the end of the world for you. This year, things may not be working out, but that doesn't mean that next year they will not work out. I have a strong belief that as long as you're doing your best and trusting on the Lord and making sure that you're not lazy, you're not giving up on circumstances, some more things will work out. So I just felt I needed to share from that other perspective that it's not a straight journey. And I would lie to you that if it's been a straight journey for me, I struggled. My first job, I was earning 370. I had that I earned that amount for some months, and here I was pursuing my professional qualification. I was doing quite a number of things. I had needs, but I was surviving through. But one of the things that I had is I had the hope, and I was also working towards it. I kept on elevating my skills because even with a job that was paying me a low amount, that did not stop me from upgrading because I believe that the upgrading was what was going to bring me what I would say a better job. So knowing that the situation you're in right now is not the end in itself, but also working towards bettering yourself to make sure that you're not just remaining in that deep end, but you're working on yourself every day to make sure that tomorrow finds you better prepared, tomorrow finds you a positive person, tomorrow finds you in a better way. That's what I can really say. So over to you, Mr. Steven.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Indeed, you've answered Nambia in that line. And actually, it's a question in the minds of so many actually university students, especially finalists and all others. But what I can say, indeed, it also comes by who are you surrounded with specifically. And these are the reasons why actually the Transformational Professionals Club came by with different initiatives. It was actually, if you hear the word professionals, you may think they need people who have actually built up themselves. Actually, I recommend you to join the club. Uh, Specifically, there are so many questions you can ask by yourself, yet actually you would have asked a mentor. So by joining the club, you have your mentor there. There are so many mentors around. People have so many skills. Actually, they can actually uh, go with you through the journey of stress, anxiety, and actually you can end up actually finding yourself solving your problems. Uh, so many questions are coming in. Samuel, I think we can actually answer these questions such that people can become very much satisfied. We have a question here from Sentong Isaac. Is a diploma holder from Bustema University. He's a teacher since 2018. He's saying that my depression comes with financial instability. I've worked harder to the extent that I discover a side income is necessary. I have I have some basics on IT. How best can I improve financially? So Samuel, I think you can give some insight. I think you had started actually trying to bring in uh, that aspect in the other question of actually looking on other side hustles, irrespective of the professional uh, or the course you did. But you can still elaborate on this to give us more insight in that line.
Okay, thank you so much. And good to meet you, Mr. Isaac, who is part of this call. And I know, like you've mentioned, your depression comes with financial instability, where you've worked hard to the extent that you discover a side income is necessary. I really agree. In this L and age, even when you have a job, the income is not enough. So you need to be able to create alternative sources of income. You've said you have basics on IT. I would encourage you to boost those skills by leveraging on YouTube. And there are also free courses that you can find on Coursera. and quite a number of other courses that are offered by Google. You can even when you just Google free courses on IT, you'll be able to find them. But one of the things is learn skills that you know that you're going to put to use and are going to bring you an income. We're in era of artificial intelligence where AI can do quite a number of things. Go ahead of people and learn some of these things. The businesses right now have been scared from the perspective that if you've not done AI, if you're not leveraging on AI, means that you might be thrown out of business. What I would say is go learn something that you think is going to be relevant to either you or even other people. And now once you do that, you can do two things. Since you're a teacher, I would actually encourage you. One of the easiest way to earn an income is to teach what you know. I already mentioned that one of my sources of incomes as I was leaving university, even right now, was to teach what I know, my knowledge. So even you yourself, since you're a teacher, you can actually learn this and start teaching it to other people. There are people who don't know how to use a computer. There are people who don't know how to use certain applications. So learn something and teach other people. And you can charge an income. You can charge, say, I teach you for an hour, you pay me 50,000. I do this. There are also parents that want their kids to learn things of coding and all those aspects. So you can position yourself as a tutor. And you see online, what happens is I run a YouTube channel. Some of you, I think, may be knowing it. The YouTube channel is called Accounting Coach Uganda. When you go to that platform, I have over 100+ videos. And all those videos about teaching what I know, what I studied. So I teach accounting, I teach what, and that YouTube channel is already monetized, and YouTube actually pays me money for putting videos there. So the world has changed so much, and I want you to open your brain to opportunities. Do not limit yourself. If it means marketing yourself on TikTok, get on TikTok. There are quite a number of people that are leveraging on platforms like TikTok to be able to make money. One of the things I would tell you is, and I made this decision several years back. I said, my generation is a generation that has this digital marketing thing. I can't just be a participant and just be on these platforms as a consumer who just comes and scrolls in. What are some of those things that people are doing on these platforms that I can also do as an individual and be able to benefit from it? Such that if I say I've been on LinkedIn for the last 10 years, it's not just about being there and scrolling through to see what other people are doing. But one, I'm a content creator, I'm attracting opportunities on the platform. And before you know it, somebody's reaching out to you to give you opportunities. Myself, I've gotten quite a number of opportunities from these social media platforms. Uh, Early this year, when I featured on NTV, it was because somebody saw me on X. They saw the work that I'm doing and they invited me. When I last year, when I was invited to train employees of NSSF, it's because somebody had seen the work that I do on YouTube, because I'd put down there my videos. So we are in an age where even those people, when they're inviting me, no one asked for my CV, no one asked for my academic transcript. They just saw what I do and they gave me the opportunity. So what am I saying is, for whatever you're doing right now, for whatever skill you have right now, see what can I do with it? How can people know that I know these things? And that is where you need to do content creating. Tell us if you studied accounting. Start to tell us about what you learned. Let's say you say, I'm going to post every after 2 days, I'm going to post about a concept that I learned and see how it's applied practically in the real world. A business person is watching and saying, you've mentioned about filing taxes, you've mentioned about reporting. Even when somebody's recruiting, when they come, like say, to your LinkedIn profile, they'll be able to see some of these things that you post about, and that will give you an edge as an individual. So you who is a teacher, you are at an advantage, because in this era and age, teaching is one of the most like lucrative businesses. teaching what you know. If you do not know something, learn. Once you learn it, teach it to another person. However basic you know, it's even for the basic IT you know, there's somebody who doesn't know that basic that you can actually teach them. So I hope that answers you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel. I think you've elaborated so well in that line. And so many questions are still coming in and so many comments. People have joined on. Some of them are joining in from our YouTube channel, I think. And don't forget to subscribe if you're on our YouTube channel. If you are watching this at a later time, don't forget to subscribe, share, because this information is so much important. We have uh, Mercy Nambi has been actually sharing this link to different groups such that people can easily join in. We appreciate that so much. We have so many people here. Katushabe Anibera is so happy to join in. Uh, let's go into the questions. Someone here actually needs an opportunity to actually ask. Uh, I think we can permit. That's Marcus Banda. Marcus, I don't know whether you're on. Let's give you a platform such that you can ask your question.
I'm on, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay,
so
please.
much, Mr. Stephen, for this opportunity. Yes, sir. When in the course of this meeting, Mr. Samuel Ibanda said, personal branding is more like you marketing yourself, like making the world know what you are able to do, selling yourself out. If you did agriculture, you tell the world, you tell the digital world about agriculture, like what you can do in relations with agriculture. Now, my question is it not more like making how can I put it? Like you are sometimes people say you are not supposed to post everything about your life, like your success, what you are doing. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to tell people about your life, like your personal life. How can you balance that with personal branding as well as sticking to that aspect of you not telling the world about yourself, like your personal life? Is personal branding different from uh, making the people know about your personal life? I don't know if the question is making sense.
Yeah. It's making sense. So thank you so much for the question. What I would say is, and I just tried to share a screen of the YouTube channel I was talking about previously, which is the accounting coach. One of the things I would say is you choose what you tell the world. I'll tell you that right now I've not told you what I've eaten, either I've eaten or not eaten. I've not told you where I'm tuning this call from, but at least I've told you things that you need to know. So that's the same thing with the personal branding is you curate what you want the world to know you for. If I'm an accountant and I studied accounting, when you go to my LinkedIn page, you'll be able to see, let me just get here, and I want to make this a bit practical. Okay, Stephen, are you able to see my LinkedIn page?
Yes, I'm seeing it. It's very
Okay.
clear.
Okay, so this is my LinkedIn page, and this is, I want to use this to explain branding. So when you come to my LinkedIn page, you can see I have a top banner here, which says Coach Samuel Ibanda, a career growth mentor, accountant, finance and business coach. This is what I want the world to know me for. I'm a farmer that you'll find somewhere doing some farming. I'm also a husband and so on, but you'll not find these details here. So I'm curating because one, I know who my audience is. Whom am I speaking to? When I joined this platform about several years back, I used to write about the CPA course. Those that are doing accounting may know the CPA and SCCA. So I used to write content around that because at that time I was teaching accounting. I was teaching that professional course. So whenever I would write about that, I would get students who were interested to study with my classes and resources, and they will be able to join. Now, at a point in time, I used the platform to start looking for jobs. And what would happen is somebody sends you a message and says, "Oh, Samuel, I've checked out your profile. Your profile looks good. We want you to come through for an interview." Now, right now, I do position myself as a career growth mentor, because I'm now targeting people like you who are just living out of university, people who are employed, to be able to help them. So you curate what you want the world to know you for. And that's what a personal brand does. When you come and visit my profile here, starting from my banner, looking at this header that I have, and scroll down to even look at my experience. I'm a founding president and mentor at Transformation Professionals Club. I'm a manager at KPMG. Here you'll see awarded exceptional performer. You get down, you see I'm also a coach at Bucks Africa, where I've done this for the last 10 years. I'm a mentor with the Tony Elmelu Foundation, and that has been with for 1 year. And Dada, I'm a lecturer and tutor of the CPA course with Achievers Professional Trainers. When you get down, you get to realize some of the things that I'm doing. I'm a trainer and coach with the Transformation Business Network. I was a judge on the business panel for the Stanbic National School Championship in 2023. I was a business coach under the Entrepreneurship Institute of Africa. I worked with Save the Children, where I was a country partnership finance lead. I was a finance manager somewhere. I was a financial accountant. I also worked for Vodafone. By the time you're done looking at my profile, you have an impression of Samuel in your brain. If you wanted to hire me as your coach or mentor, you've already made the decision to say, this guy is experienced. Maybe he can be able to help me. If somebody was looking for, let's say, a CFO or is looking for a manager finance, and they come and look at my profile, they will be able to get something, an impression that will help them make a decision. I was recently having a friend of mine who has a wedding, and he was looking for a DJ, and he went to Instagram and he saw this DJ who is doing great work. The DJ even uploaded some of his work that he has done before. And what this did is that it helped this person make a decision. When you come here, and I'm telling you that I was awarded Best Male Employee in 2019. And when you even come here, I'm showing you that as part of when I was a business judge, I show you some of what I did. All this helps you get an impression of who is Samuel. Most of the things or most of the challenges that people are facing is they're facing the struggle to trust you. Somebody is asking themselves, can I trust this person? Why? Because they have quite a number of options. We have quite a number of accountants in Uganda. But how will somebody trust you and be like, this guy, I think, is exceptional? Because they have seen either an exception award performance here, they have seen you work with a global entity, they have seen when they come, they see sense. You're not just posting gossip, you're not just randomly putting yourself out there, but you're being intentional on what you're showcasing to the world. And that is what I say, that the world is an open space. It's about how you curate your brand for them. That's how they're able to pick up in around 2022. I was featured as under top 40 under 40 by New Vision, and they made a profile of me. How did I get to be featured here? is because somebody who was working on New Vision was following some of my work on the different social media platforms. And that's how powerful it is. I've been able to speak to different global stages just because I've curated a brand that can be trusted. Now, I want to tell you that you waiting for an opportunity to sit online and go and apply, those things are now phasing out. Right now, what happens is you do what we call a push. You push your brand so that you can attract, such that you don't have to wait for the advert. Even before the advert comes through, somebody has already seen you and they're like, this guy can actually do what you're looking out for. And before you know it, this guy is actually being called through for an interview or is being called through for a consultancy engagement. And that's how the world has turned to. So I hope that I've responded to that aspect of brand. So you choose what to share to the world. Over to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Indeed, if it comes to brand, you've exhausted each and everything. LinkedIn is a platform which can actually showcase someone that indeed someone has done something concerning this line. And I love actually your profile there. And whenever I go there, uh, I always wonder how can I reach all these stages in life. But since actually I'm near you in the Transformation Professionals Club, everything is possible. I'm getting a question here. Ojok Richard Okene is saying, "Hello, Coach Samuel. My name is Ojok Richard. I recently graduated with bachelor's degree in business administration, accounting option from Gulu University 2025. And I am currently working as a store manager at a school. I have also enrolled in the Brigham Young University Pathway Worldwide program to continue building my skills. My questions are, what practical steps can I take to keep my accounting knowledge fresh and relevant while working in a non-accounting role? Also, how can I transition effectively into accounting or finance position in the near future?" Then I think you can answer them concurrently together. Question 2, how do I use my current job as a store manager to showcase relevant accounting or financial management skills? He's ending by thanking you for the wonderful meeting. So I think you can beat around those questions and answer them.
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Mr. Joke. And I like the fact that you and I share this accounting journey. I would say, and I want to mention this, and I think you've reminded me well. When you leave university, it's not the end of your education life. Actually, it's quite important that you keep equipping yourself with knowledge, with learning. And we have quite a number of resources where you can be able to learn and acquaint yourself. Now, every career or every industry requires a different aspect that puts you at edge over others. And why I'm taking this kind of direction is because when people leave university, most of what they're looking at is when can I pursue a master's? They're looking at different aspects. But one thing I would say is if you are able to find a job, make sure that you do not just get into any course or training without understanding to see how does this play for me in where I am right now and who I want to be. And why I'm taking this kind of direction is because I know that you might be interested in becoming an accountant. Now, for you to really tap into the opportunities of accounting, one of the things that is a must in this era and age is you must be pursuing either SCCA or CPA. I studied my CPA, CCA before I could graduate. I did CPA specifically. And by the time I graduated, I had done 2 papers. So I was able to get exemptions and move to level 2. When I was an intern, like the way you are, earning that small amount of money, I said I'm going to invest in my education. Why? Because I knew this was a requirement for me. If I was to remain ahead of the competition, I needed to have these qualifications. So I had to invest the small money I was earning. So, Mr. Joe, I would encourage you that in addition to the course you're doing currently, have at least an ACCA or CPA into the picture. Either you're a registered student who's just doing one paper. When you're telling your story and your aspiration for accounting, those two things have to come somewhere, somehow. So that is one of the things I would encourage you. The other I would say is not everyone starts out in a big job. And the store manager job where you are is actually an advantage because store management has aspects of accounting because you're going to do what is called stock accounting because in the store there are items. So one of the things want you to do is try to read more about stock accounting and see how you can bring the skill of stock accounting to your current job. I also want to ask you that if you're in an organization that has, let's say, a finance department, I would want to say that it would be very good for you to create some time off your work in the store management to just curiously visit the finance department and ask them questions that can help you to be able to learn. You can even volunteer yourself and say, when I'm not doing the store work or when I'm a bit idle in the store, I can offer to help you enter invoices into the system. Where you are, people need to see the interest you have. When I started out as an intern, I got an opportunity to be trained immediately to use QuickBooks, which is an accounting application. If you're an accountant, you need to be able to know at least one or two accounting softwares that you can speak about. I was able to learn how to file taxes. I was able to learn quite different things that helped me in a way that even it did not take me long to move from an intern to now become the accountant. So you need to understand what are some of those key skills that are needed for my role and what do I need to be doing. And that is what you now start to do. So equip yourself, skill yourself. I need to be able to hear you skilling yourself in aspects of tax, in aspects of accounting softwares, in aspects of reporting, seeing what is working in the real world. What that equips you is that even when an opportunity comes, you can speak to it. It also helps you that you start now to leverage your brand in that perspective of the skills that you can actually bring on table. So that is what I can really say when it comes to responding to Mr. Ojok.
Thank you so much. I think Ojok is well answered in that line. We have Natwa Danson here. Natwa is a comrade. We did our BCom together and we finalized together. So he's saying, thank you so much, Makande, as well as our coach Samuel. My journey is in a way that I, as a finalist, are waiting for graduation. For graduation levels, are waiting for graduation levels. I see myself down, I think that's the phrase, and do what I can. Term as low level works, though enterprising and self-driven. For example, I deal in selling different raw food items and as well some fried snacks. I find it challenging, whereby I feel like out of class and that I may not find anything adding to my career journey, though it can earn me a living and keep me around Kampala as well, given me time to search for better greener pastures. What can you advise me on that? and other fellows who are fearing to start in such a line. So I think you can answer, Natwa. Is the question well understood,
Yes, I
Coach
get
Samuel?
I get the question. So what I want to say, Mr. Stephen, and to this question is when you're done with university, especially when you've just finished your exams, one of the things that you want is to find that job. Like that job should find you, or you should find a job. And why? Because you've either seen your colleagues finding jobs and you get on pressure. Why? Because, yeah, that is the life that you've been working towards too. But I say the world may be different for you. It's no longer about semester two, semester one. It's now about life for you. And the dynamics might really be different. And I like the fact that you've already started something. Well done. You're so much ahead of several other people who have not started, and keep in there. I know when you've studied BCom and you've been this student who looks at a multinational organization, and now you're getting yourself selling snacks and selling ABCD, you may feel like low, but one of the things I'll tell you is at that point in time when you have bills looking at you, when the landlord is chasing you and you can't survive, when the friends that have been giving you accommodation are telling you we can no longer give you the accommodation and you don't know where to go to, it will be you who will be in the picture, you alone. So that is why it's important for you not to underlook these business ventures that could actually earn you an income, because these are the ones that can be able to bail you out at a time where the job is not, because you also do not have control. One of the things I usually believe in, strive to do something that is within your control, such that if the job does not come, you have this thing that you're building and growing. Now, as a university graduate, I want to say that do not run businesses like people who have not gone to school. If you're running, let's say, snacks, have a brand. Say, and this will even get better the way you present it to your fellow students, because right now your network are people who are going to get into employment. And these are people whom should be part of your customers. So present yourself in a way that you're running a company, you're running a brand that people are like, this guy is running something big. Not saying I sell snacks, I do ABCD, snacks under what brand? So have a brand name, leverage on social media, grow your business like it's a serious thing. Ask yourself, if at all I was doing this as full time, what would I do? You know, this guy, Sam's, the one who started Sam's Snacks. When you listen to his story, he started also from snacks. And before you know it, he's now built a multi-billion manufacturing plant that is dealing in snacks. So do not underlook what you're doing. And that's why you see, start that business or whatever you're starting out, but look at it from the bigger perspective and say, okay, this thing that I'm doing it, what am I targeting? Am I targeting individual consumers, or I'm now targeting supermarkets? And if I'm targeting supermarkets, how do I want to position myself? I want to tell you that people are going to judge you the way you speak about your business. If you're running, let's say, the snacks business and you tell people, I sell some snacks, people will judge you from selling some snacks. But if you say, I'm selling, I'm Danson, we have what we call Danson Snacks Limited, which I'm running. We deal in snacks, we deal in ABCD, we supply to supermarkets, we supply to schools. People now start looking at you in a totally different way, because they'll now say, this guy is so serious. Such that when somebody knows somebody was a supermarket, they'll think about you and be like, hey, Danson, you said you deal in snacks. Can you bring here? Because they have seen. But when you underrate yourself and say, I'm running this small business, and people don't want to partner with people who are dealing in small things. So the way you put out that brand out there also really matters. And like I mentioned, even when you're going to get into employment, do not drop your business. because this is a business that's going to supplement on your income. You want to go back to school, study more, you want to travel, you want to get married. All these things are going to require money. So you're not going to drop some of these things that would actually benefit your life when you're still going through this phase of life of survival to thrive in. So it's a good thing that you're doing right now, and do not be discouraged. You're not late. Do not feel like you're late, like you're being left behind. You've just finished school, you're going to graduate. When you graduate, you have your transcripts, the opportunities will be even better. So the opportunities are not going to find you right now. Even if it's after 1 year, the opportunities will still show up. So just keep yourself positive and keep elevating yourself as well. Add more value. If you did a BCom like myself and your aspiration is an accounting, see how can I go and register CP and just read these papers and look for somebody who can give me 100,000 and pay for exam and at least study. Such that when I'm meeting again another interview, I'm not just saying I did BCom, but I'm saying that I did BCom, but I'm also pursuing ABCD. And somebody knows that you're a focused person. You're not just waiting for the job, but you have an angle where you can go and volunteer some of your services and be like, ah, uncle, I know you run this BCD. I studied accounting. Can I come and help you with putting your books in order? You know that is now add to your CV. So next time you will not be saying, I'm a finalist, I did internship everywhere, and people asking, what are you doing currently? And say, currently I do not have a job. The next time you go to the interview, you'll now be saying, I'm now an accounts assistant with, let's say, Samuel and Sons Limited. And no one will question it. But for you, you know it, but you're just there as a volunteer, but it is adding more value to you because you're doing something with your life. So that's what happens. Opportunities are not going to find you seated. Opportunities are going to find you moving. Yeah. Over to you, Makande.
Thank you. Thank you. Indeed, that's a great response to Danson. Let's add value to those snacks. Danson snacks. It can work so well, such that even if actually you get the opportunity outside there in the professional world, you don't throw away what you've got. Bright is saying, thank you, Coach Samuel. I'm Bright, a graduate of social work. I graduated last year, but most of my income has been through volunteering. I've been interested more in freelance work. How can I be able to navigate through?
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Bright. So I like the fact that you have started doing volunteering and you're interested more in freelancing work. How can you be able to navigate through? So I don't know if Bright, you're on LinkedIn, but one of the things I would say is if you've been doing freelancing work, are you able to showcase some of the work that you're doing or where you've done some of your work? So I would say that leverage your social media platforms. When you go to TikTok, you'll be able to see people who have done different things and it helps the customer. I already mentioned earlier and said, if I want to hire you, Bright, to be able to help me with support on anything, I'll go online and try to look out what you've done before. And it will be based on that I'll be able to either ask you to help me with that service. So work on your brand and work on letting people know what you can do. If people in your circles do not know what you can do, or even those that you studied with, and even the world does not know, because when you jump on social media, you're jumping to the world. People will not know how to recommend you or what to recommend you for. So I would encourage you that leverage your social media platforms to be able to tell the world that you can do ABCD. And do not, because you said most of your income has been through volunteering, you're interested in freelancing. There are also freelance platforms like Upwork that you can explore online. But I want to encourage you, leverage, get onto LinkedIn, start to also post about the work that you do, such that people know if I'm looking for somebody, then I can easily remember that, okay, Bright is there. So that's how the world works. People now no longer recommend people because ABCD. You see, we spend a lot of time on social media. When you look at the time you've spent, you find yourself spending nearly half of your day just on social media. So the people that you're seeing online are what is in your brain. When somebody asks you about something, much like you're going to think about the last post you saw around that topic. So be that person that I'm going to think about in those circumstances. Yeah. Over to you, Makandi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach, for that insight. Indeed, so many comments are still coming in. I'm seeing a comment from Mr. Philip Chiriowa, one of the mentors and the coach specifically. Chiriowa is an expert in financial literacy training, and recently, based on different conversations, he helps youth get actual loans from Equity Bank, and actually can even help you to understand how to use those loans and how actually you can access them, and also the repayments. I think before we end, you can have 1 or 2 minutes to talk about that as we proceed. So maybe let's have this last question before Chiriwa comes in. I'm seeing a question from Deogratias Kajova, one of the comrades still from my BCom class accounting. Thank you, Coach, for the wonderful work. And senior comrade Stephen, my question is, how can one become a better accountant in an era where technology has occupied our space?
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, before I proceed, I encourage you, if you're watching this as a live session, Mr. Makande Stephen has shared a link to our WhatsApp group. Now, we do not, I know somebody was asking for a direct link. Now, the reason why we share this Google form is we want you to capture your details such that if we're sending out emails with good resources, you can receive these emails. We also want to be able to support you more. We want to know your needs and be able to support you more. So feel free to fill the form and be able to answer some of the questions there, and then you'll be able to see a link at the end of the form. It's quite important. Learning never ends, and you don't need to just come here and watch through and go and sit. You need to continuously learn through. The other thing I also want to mention is, again, there are quite a number of things to share. Now, to those that are either you're watching this as a live session or you're watching as a replay, I have another YouTube channel, which is called Coach Samuel Ibanda. You know, I shared with you the other YouTube channel of accounting, but there's also this other YouTube channel where we share quite on various topics, and even our Friday webinars, I host them here. Now, there's a session I did around how to have a successful accounting career. I would encourage you to visit this channel and go through if at all you have an accounting background and you're trying to curate about your career. The other thing that I would also say, I have a book that I wrote that would benefit people like you who are fresh graduates, who are just starting out. I'll just try to share my screen and you see a copy of that book. So this is the book. It's called Get Your Dream Job and Earn Your Worth. So I know we have quite a number of people here that have joined in. This is a book that would go for, let's say, 50,000. But since we are part of this call, I'm going to be able to give it out at an offer. So you only pay 20,000 and get access to this book. Now, this book speaks more around my journey and what I was able to do to get to a higher level, and certain things that I may not be able to share with you through this time. So in case you're interested in this book, you make sure that you reach out through the number that is on the flyer that you just used to enter this. You can also be able to reach me through Makande Steven, and we'll be able to get you this book. And just take your time to be able to read through. It's a soft copy book, so it's an ebook that you can be able to get and read from wherever you are. So back to responding to the question. So if at all you're right now, of course, there's a lot of change that is happening. And I'll tell you that even as we are leaving university, there was a lot of change because 20 years back, there were no computers. So what meant be is if you are an accountant, you do things in large books where you'd open ledgers and so on. But now the technology advanced and we now have accounting softwares. And then now we have artificial intelligence coming through to do some of the basic work that we've been doing. What I would say is continuously equip yourself as an individual and also strive to be different. The reason why you might be struggling is because you still have the other basic knowledge. Strive to stand out. You should have something that is extra on you that makes somebody feel that, oh, this person is actually equipping themselves. Even myself, in my current role as a manager, I'm also continuously adding value to myself because the world is changing. I had a very good time career in NGO world. Right now, because there's funds freeze that is coming from the US, people in the NGO space are getting less relevant every day. It's only those that have kept themselves reskilling that can now offer the same service in other industries. So reskilling and getting yourself updated with technology is something that you need as an individual. And before you know it, you continue to stand out and you'll attract either business opportunities or even jobs. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for that insight, Mr. Samuel. So indeed, the book, for the book, you can easily contact me and we reach out to Coach Samuel such that you can easily learn more. I know so many questions cannot be exhausted on this platform specifically, but if we actually go on to other platforms, the YouTube channel, the book itself, we can easily equip ourselves with different with a lot of knowledge. I don't know whether Philip is there. Philip, are you on? Such
Yes,
that you
I'm
can.
on.
Yes, so it's an opportunity specifically to talk to the youth. I know uh, one of your initiatives, you are centering specifically on the youth themselves, and you are interested to see them grow financially stable in that line. So could you please give us some insights in that line and also talk about the different initiatives? What package do you have for the youth to see them grow in this actual era of challenges and dilemma?
Wow, what an opportunity. One of the things I've already learned from what I want to encourage the young people, from what I've done, I just took a chance, and you see now, they've given me an opportunity to speak. So one of the lessons we are getting out there, as Coach Samuel Ibanda said, the world is an open place. Many times, young people second guess themselves. We've all been there. But I'm telling you, you are very lucky to get such a session for free, because many youth out there cannot have such an opportunity to listen to such a message. So I want to congratulate you, all of you who are on space, who are on call today, for making the right choice. I want to thank you, Stephen. I was actually thinking, remembering myself in the towards when you are going to complete university. I see someone who is going to be very successful and someone who knows where they want to be, because you've taken a step in volunteering, and the world is seeing you. So I want to also thank Coach Samuel for being a generous gentleman. He's really generous. He always creates opportunities. Most of the knowledge that he shares must be paid for, but he sees a burden for this nation, and that's why he relentlessly puts out opportunities for young people. So one of the things that I want to encourage any young person on call, you are among the lucky few Ugandans to get such knowledge. And if I were you, just make sure you join Transformational Professionals Club, reach out to on the different LinkedIn platforms, YouTube, get this knowledge. Trust me, for you to get a job, you need to first invest in yourself. So now, since I have limited time, let me simply say something about myself in a brief moment. Then I hand over the microphone to Stephen. Thank you for the opportunity you've given me. My name is Philip Chidiowa. I'm a certified financial coach. I work with Equity Bank. I have experience in banking, and I have a lot of passion for young people. One of the reasons why I looked forward to this session is that I want to listen to a practitioner share his journey, because I am in platforms of young people at Makerere, those doing BBA, to really understand the mindset of the young people. I want to encourage you young people on call. If you have a degree, thank God. If you're still a student, thank God, because there are so many young people out there who don't even, who stopped maybe in primary, you know? So whenever you have any qualification or you are at university, you are among the lucky few, as Coach Samuel has been saying. So in that same regard, I have a lot of passion for young people. I always want to ensure that if I can give a hand to a young person, nobody should be without a job. Many young people now have resorted to gambling. Others have put their faith in going to Arab countries. Statistics show that over 50,000 young people are border cyclists. These are things that should pain us, and we say, surely, isn't your degree worth much more? So we want to encourage you young people on call. Do not lose hope. If you have people around you who surround you that can lead you somewhere, make use of them. And I want to encourage young people on call, please stop being lazy, whereby if you are seeking support from someone, at least give them a call. But many of you just say hi. Hi is not enough. You need to call. If you want to meet Coach Philip, give me a call and we speak. That is how we shall change the lives of young people. The other thing I want to tell young people is to not to think only about yourself. The world doesn't revolve around you. You be of service to others. Don't first look for money, but seek to be of value. And don't underrate any job you can do. Personally, after university, when instead of just sitting at home, my uncle told me, just come and volunteer at a certain NGO. There was no place for me. I started with taking tea, like taking tea to various staff. Then they could send me to different NGOs to take letters there, and I accepted. But today I can tell you there is no NGO I don't know. So don't underrate those small voluntary opportunities. Some people have got jobs out of being sweepers in a bank. And once the chance comes, they hand in their CV. So one of the things I want to encourage you, be humble. So many people have studied. So in regard to the opportunities in Equity, we offer free financial literacy training to young people. I have expertise in helping young people to start groups like investment clubs, VISLAs, circles. You need to start something so that the job market or your employer finds you busy. So I've shared my number, and I'm also on LinkedIn. I also have a blog where I share various articles on finance. Reach out, try to look out for me on those two platforms. I'm not on YouTube like Coach Samuel, but my passion is to see every young person achieve their dreams. And let's be selfless. If you hear there is someone who helps, if you've heard about Coach Samuel, share with another colleague and tell them, because we need to grow as a team. So don't live in isolation and you say, I failed to get a job. First, work on your mindset. That's why I upload every person on call today, because you've made the right choice. There are some of your colleagues who are right now in gambling, others are gossiping, others are doing nothing. But I want to thank you for tuning in. I also have an organization called Advanced Empowerment Link that is geared or focused on helping young people to achieve their dreams. All of us have dreams, but the question is, would you put them into practice? For example, do you know that, let me just wind up with this example. Do you know that out of one of the course units that you excelled in, like if you're in BCom and maybe you are good in taxation, do you know you can become a tax consultant and you get a job in URA? Do you know that in this nation, there are some business people who thought that IFRIS was a tax? So how are you as a business student able to leverage on that to make a name for yourself like Coach Samuel? So I want to encourage you, let's wage a war on youth unemployment, because at the end of the day, so many young people are involved in crime, not because they want, but they have no options. So let's work together to see that every young person can access a job. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much, Coach Samuel, for giving me the opportunity. And I look forward to working with you as we change this nation for the better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Philip, for that line of emphasis. Indeed, thank you for that heart of helping the youth grow. There are a few comments here. I know you're time bad. Samaganda here is adding some sort of encouragement to Dansoni's question, whereby he's emphasizing that the game is not about earning. It's about earning, not about being employed. Because most successful people say the CEOs have stories linked to sales. So, Danson, that's your encouragement. Then there is another concern here from Namata Madina. She's a student at Makerere University pursuing Bachelor of Science in Tourism and Hospitality. She's inquiring on which side should she specialize in, specifically tourism or hospitality. I don't know whether Coach Samuel you can tackle that briefly. And you can also maybe combine it with Katushabe and Bera. Katushabe says, how can I run a small side hustle business as a student? That's another question there. So as we conclude in that line, Coach Samuel, try to look at those ones. And then we shall, I think, have our conclusion after you emphasizing those ones and clarifying on those few questions.
All right. Thank you so much. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Philip Chiriowa for whatever he has shared. It's always good to see another person in the area of service. And one of the things I will encourage you as well, young people, do not build life only about you. Also build a life around service, a life of purpose, a life of doing things not just for money, but doing it for them for humanity. This is how the world works. We're all created for something that we can add to the world, maybe even be beyond your course, because right now we're not speaking about accounting, we're speaking about how to navigate life. So it's quite important. And well done, Mr. Stephen, that you've started this journey of service. not just here, but I know that continuously you'll be able to go through. And thanks to all those that have joined the WhatsApp group. I see quite a number of people that have joined. So I know we have quite a number of questions, and one of the things I'll tell you is one thing that's going to help you run through this life is making sure that you have a mentor, have somebody whom you can be able to reach out, somebody who can hold your hand, because the dynamics of life change every day. So have a mentor. Myself, I have mentors in different phases, but also different facets of life. You have a spiritual mentor, you have an academic mentor, you have a career mentor. I do a lot of career mentorship, especially for you people, aspects around also financial management or personal finance. And you've seen Philip here as well, does something around personal finance as well. So have somebody whom you know that you can look out for, you can attend their sessions, you can reach out them. And that's why we created what is called the Transformation Professionals Club. I do not believe in doing life alone. I believe in building a life in a community where you know that you have other people that are chasing the same direction. The reason why sometimes we even get into depression is we want to do things alone. We don't want to share. But once you are in a community, you have a support system, you are an edge on others, because there's one or two things you learn even attending. We usually have these weekly webinars. There's something that you learn every day. You listen to somebody, and you do not know what you're learning today will actually help you at some point in time. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. So somebody's trying to say, so the question that somebody asked, I'm just trying to, who was the person who asked the question? Was it Namata? Yes,
Namata
Namata.
Madini.
Yes, he's saying, what can I specialize in, tourism or hospitality? I think this comes down to, I mentioned there's interest, what you're passionate about, but then there's also what is the world demanding? What is in there exactly? If you look at tourism and hospitality, yours is now to look at and say which one is people. What are people looking at right now? If it's hospitality and it's to do with hotel management, whatever it entails, ask yourself, if I take this kind of direction, what opportunities will I get? The same thing with tourism as well. And ask yourself, can I, let's say, even if I pursue, let's say, and specialize in tourism, can I still do hospitality just in case I wish to do it? Because you're not just confined by what you're specializing in. You need to be able to spread your wings to what is working in the market. So that is what I can basically comment about, but it's so much is around what opportunities are available. So right now you should be asking yourself, what opportunities are in tourism? What opportunities are in hospitality? The two facets or specialization look to be similar, but you need to be able to understand. That's why you even get down to see what papers am I going to do in this specialization. That will give you an idea around what kind of skills you're going to build in the process. And that alone can be able to give you some kind of direction. Katushavi says, how can I run a small side hustle as a student? Again, I have a specific webinar I did on side hustle that I'm going to encourage you to look out for. When you go to my YouTube channel, there's a section of business and side hustles. So I did how to earn a side hustle through as an employee, how to start a side hustle and earn a side income. So I'd recommend you to watch these two videos. You'll be able to get an answer at least. I also did something about, there's a time I was invited on NTV where I did some video about how to survive, especially if you're transitioning from a student. So I would recommend you to watch these three videos. They'll be able to give you some idea on how you can be able to survive through. Yeah. And then also join the WhatsApp group. and let's keep the communication through. I know there are some other questions that have come through, but because of time, because I have another engagement, I'm supposed to travel. Like I told you, I was supposed to cancel this webinar, but I said I needed to do it. So, but let's keep in touch, and let's see how we can keep the conversation going.
Thank you so much, Coach. I think so many questions have been coming through, but just join the group. We shall be answering most of the questions there in case mentors are there. Coach Philip is there, Coach Diana. We have great mentors, Charity, and others who are on this platform. You can easily actually ask what I've actually picked here. You should have a mentor. It's a point of motivation that Coach Samuel has been actually emphasizing. A mentor helps you in so many things, and by joining the club, you have access to different mentors in different fields, be it academics, be it lifestyle, religious. So it's an opportunity for you. So I think, Coach Samuel, at this time, we've reached our climax, the conclusion specifically. So I would like you to conclude in a very actually encouraging way and give some tips to the people who are on this platform as actually we plan to wind up this. I think more engagements will be coming in. I think people have remained with so many questions. They are still actually thirsty concerning this. So I think you can conclude and then give us some words, some key tips throughout this life.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephen, and well done on this work of moderating this session. And I want to appreciate everyone who has come through for this webinar. Either you followed the session via YouTube or you've been part of the Zoom session. I want to appreciate you. And like Mr. Philip indicated, you're as head of quite a number of people by being here, because quite a number of people would really want to be where you are right now, but they don't have a chance. So what I would say is strive to be able to always look out for such learning opportunities. There is something that you can be able to learn and add value to yourself and stand out of from this line of competition, because the world is so competitive, and it has gotten even more competitive in this era and age. But what is going to set you apart is when you are intentional about standing out. I'll tell you that we have quite a number of accountants that we graduated with, people who have gotten first classes, people who have masters, who have PhDs, but all that sometimes doesn't matter if at all you're not standing out. What it is I would say is, no matter how good you are, if no one knows how good you are, it doesn't make sense. If Makande here is a first-class student and we do not know what he can do, then that will just end at, I know this guy is bright. But it is the things that you can do that are going to open a door for you. Work on your brand as an individual. Make sure your personal brand is elevated. I usually share what I call the 5 Ps. People who have been part of the previous masterclass remember them. I said, 1, have a purpose. Have a reason why you exist. Do not just exist because Makanda is doing certain things and you also want to do them. Have a reason behind whatever you do every day. Purpose in everything that you do will make you not just follow a bandwagon because somebody is doing it. Ask questions that can help you to connect with your purpose. Why are you here on earth and what are you doing exactly? Do not drop your passion because you studied accounting and you have this passion of fashion and you want to drop it. Grow into passion. Even the work that you're doing as well, become so passionate about it. Love it, because this is what brings you income. I'll tell you that You can tell a difference between somebody who is passionate about something and somebody who is not passionate about. When I entered into the accounting field, it doesn't mean that I was passionate about accounting. I actually wanted to become an engineer. But I say that if the world has given me this, I need to be passionate about. As I'm speaking today, I'm passionate about this speaking. I can speak even for the next 2 hours because there is passion. I love this that I'm doing, love what you're doing. And that love is going to come through. Those that are running the businesses, love your businesses. Stop calling them small businesses. Stop calling them just as side hustles. Call them businesses. Look at them as companies that you're building, global companies that are going to take over the world. When you love something, it starts to bring positive energy to you as an individual. So passion, purpose is very important. Personal branding is something I've mentioned and emphasized. Make sure that your personal branding is elevated every day. There are opportunities that are not going to find you in your house. There are opportunities that are only going to be somewhere. Somebody sees you from somewhere and gives the opportunities. That's how I've been able to speak to on different televisions. That's how I was able to get to different platforms, different stages. That's how I was even able to get some job opportunities through my personal brand. And again, personal development is very important. Elevate yourself every day. Learn, 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 learn. It's only through learning that you can be able to earn. And you not only learn at school, you also learn life skills through others. And of course, personal finance is also very critical. You need to make sure that you learn how to manage money. You learn how to make money. You need to learn how to multiply money, such that you're not just walking through. There are people who have gotten opportunities working with good organizations, but when time comes, when you've spent 10 years, you have nothing to count. You do not have a home. You're not married. Your life is disorganized. But once you get focused and know that, okay, this is the life I want. When I was starting out, I knew that I'm not going to be renting forever. And I knew that by the time my family is somewhere, I need to have them somewhere. And right now, I do not rent. My family is in a home that I've built. So you need to be able to plan your life and build assets. Buy land. I bought my land when I was, I think, about 25. And I was only able to construct, I think, when I was maybe 28. So you need to be able to look ahead. That's how you are going to be able to drive. If at all your aspiration is at least to drive a car, that's how you make sure that you're building a life and building assets that are going to help you stand out. Because you're going to 10 years from now, you don't want to tell us that you have a first class and you have nothing to show at the end of the day. Make sure that you're intentional about making money, multiplying it and growing it. And you can only do it when you're intentional. Read books. You've heard of very good books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Rich Man from Babylon. There are book materials that are out there. YouTube is your place to be. Go there and learn as much as you can. And before you know it, you're getting ahead of others. And people are now embracing you as a resourceful person. You see, you as an individual, how you grow yourself through personal branding or personal development reflects even the way you speak, what you articulate. If you're not growing yourself, means that there's a problem. So I will encourage you to elevate yourself in that aspect. The other thing that I also want to leave you with is make sure that you remain spiritual. Elevate yourself to make sure that in times of struggle, prayer is elevating you. God is with you and you are with God as well. Make sure that you not lose out on your spiritual life. And before you know it, God is opening opportunities for you. I'll tell you that it's not because of just my books or whatever that I'm here. God has also been of advantage for me to get to this level. So that's what I can really say when it comes to my closing remarks. So to those that would like to connect with me, you can find me on various platforms, on LinkedIn, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, search for Coach Samuel Ibanda. And I would encourage you that you do this immediately. Go online. When you even just go to Google and Google Coach Samuel Ibanda, you'll be able to see me on some of the different platforms I am and connect with me. And let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can help each other be elevated and be able to grow. Otherwise, I thank you so much for being part of this session. And from myself and the team at Transformation Professionals Club, we welcome you to be members so that we can be able to learn together, connect, grow, and earn at the end of the day. So thank you so much, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Coach, for those conclusive remarks. Indeed, it's been a wonderful session, and I'm very glad to be a moderator for such actually an insightful session. Thank you so much for tuning in, colleagues from Makerere University, Chambogo University, MOOBS, and all others. We look forward to other insightful engagements like these ones as you join the club. Each and every week, each and every Friday, we have a session concerning life aspects, business aspects, and all others. May God bless you. Thank you for tuning in.